Arthur Christmas is probably one of the best Santa Claus movies. Is that a contentious take to have? It certainly is my personal favourite interpretation of the mythos. Tackling almost every Western format of Santa there is in a way that both makes sense and extrapolates more into how he would feasibly work in the modern day. And today we're breaking down the absolute highlight of a scene. It's when they finally reach their goal and deliver their missing present. This is the scene that changed Arthur Christmas. The whole plot of this movie has been about a present left behind and Arthur going on a journey the old school way to try to deliver it personally. And now here he is. Just about running out of time as sunrise has begun here, if it wasn't for... A bit odd out of context, but this is the S1, as Santa now operates via super tech thanks to Arthur's brother Steve. And with it comes a cloaking device to mimic the Starry Night. A last minute dash for a little extended time. And what's more, as this is the climax of the movie, it's not just Arthur who has finally arrived this 7 AM.
So unfair.
And like any good Ed, Edd and Eddy sequence, each Santa's personality is shown in their methods. Arthur is clumsy and underhanded like all your other Tom Holland archetypes. Steve here is the efficient militant type, dropping down perfectly. Actual Santa is getting a little on for his age, and a little past his prime, more so following in Steve's footsteps at this point. And as for Grand Santa...
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
He has a more iconic approach, though it's not quite the olden days anymore. Regardless, they're all coming together finally for the climax of this movie. There's been some hijinks up to this point, it's not just been a four-way race this entire time, but by now we've gotten to see all the layers of the Santa mythos across them all. And even if you haven't seen it, you can pass plenty from just this sequence. Time to come in. Steve techs his way through the backdoor lock. It's just some buttons on an app as far as he's concerned. But simultaneously, we have on the side of the house, Santa climbing through the window. Still a little shaky on the foundation. This elf here is also from Arthur's previous entrance. Such a simple movement of panning the camera across the house to see two perspectives from the same moment, but it's just great storytelling. And though Steve is efficient at the logistics, he's inexperienced on the ground, stepping on a squeaky Shaun the Sheep toy like the amateur he really is. And Grand Santa does it the archaic way. Don't ask why he isn't dressed. He wasn't always like that. That covers the house from back, side, and top, and Arthur came in through the front door a little earlier than anyone else. And here he is now, right up to the bedroom door. And this is what makes Arthur, Arthur. He may be the young and slightly dumb one, but he has all the heart of Christmas behind him, caring about each individual child and willing to soak up the magic of the moment, something perhaps the others have lost along the way.
Dad, you came.
And first to be spotted is of course the least sneaky one. But it's not bad news, as Arthur is just happy Santa has tried. As after all, the plot for the rest of the movie was about how these two weren't even interested in following up on their one missing gift, only being beckoned by the elves later, even though Arthur doesn't know that.
You wouldn't just go to bed and forget Gwen?
Ever the optimist, this is Arthur's happy revelation that the spirit of Santa is still within the other members of the family. Though little does he know this is exactly what Santa did originally, and you can see his response to this small lie. Tactically hugging so only us audience members get to see his expression of guilt, and only cutting to angles of their faces head on, as a side angle like this just wouldn't tell the story in the same way.
You're Santa.
And believing in the spirit of Santa, Arthur gifts the bike present to him to finish the deed and do it right. Because in this moment, Arthur cares very little about him doing the gifting, and just the fact that a child receives a gift at all. It's a selfless perspective that can't be found in any of the other Santas. And thus, everyone else is here for their shining moment. The classic argument fighting over a toy. You know, like every family does over Christmas. Right?
I'm Santa. I'm delivering it.
Don't be silly, I'm Santa.
I am actually Santa, and I...
The three each have their own claim to the Santa mantle. It's been handed down from generation to generation, though apparently not from death like a real monarchy, but from retirement instead. And for context on how everyone has a claim, Santa was supposed to be retiring this year on his 70th run and giving it down to Steve, but seems to have forgotten, excited for the 71st when Steve clearly was all set to be next. Plus, the guy does 99% of the work anyway with his efficient system of elves in the S1. Santa, of course, still is the current Santa, and Grand Santa's kinda just here for a laugh. But he was one once, likes it the old way, and wanted to stick it to Steve on his methods by taking the glory of delivering this bike in the first place. All of them are right, and all of them are flawed, because... Also a great little camera trick there. This is a pretty standard camera angle on the trio, but it's also Arthur's point of view, so of course his hands come flying out from the sides. It's just a little unexpected. But while the other three are all caught up on the mantle and self-achievement, only Arthur gets Christmas's true purpose.
It's Christmas!
Please.
Capitalism. It's about the children getting their products. It's not about the glory of who is Santa.
Gwen just has to have a present from Santa.
Also, gotta love how just in their reactions we get a range of expressions from each generation. Happy, neutral, and sad, in a way. Hey, so you're about halfway in, so consider subscribing. Or become a member if you want to see videos early and other behind the scenes. But anyway, we've well established each of the four characters now, and though we've butted heads a little in the middle, all becomes clear on just what to do next as Santa steps forward with his final suggestion.
You do it, Arthur.
I like how that little bicycle ding really adds to the movement of the bike. Just a nice simple little bit of sound design to help emphasize that prop. But yes, though the three do technically have a right to the mantle, only Arthur understands and embodies the true spirit of Santa. And considering all of the trials he had to even reach this point up to this moment, it seems only right to 2 out of 3 of them that he should be the one to grant this gift to a child. And so he does. The light is warm from the Christmassy lights, the music's soft and the camera smooth as we swell into the magical moment of placing this gift. And as we learn from Bryony Shelfley, the Irish elf that accompanies Arthur...
Standard issue! Disrupt!
There's no time for a bow!
There's always time for a bow!
There's always time for a bow.
Also, this was quite nice to hear. Since this is an Aardman production, the voice cast are all sorts of flares from the UK, and an absolutely stellar lineup. The 4 clauses are Hugh Laurie, Jim Broadbent, Bill Nighy, who even won an award for his performance here, and James McAvoy. Cool! And it's a rare computer animated movie from Aardman, as they had collaborated with Sony to make this work. Very much a mwah all around.
Ho, ho, ho.
And of course, Grand Santa here is ready to break the ice for some comic relief.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
And as the older boys carry him away and Arthur actually cleans up, there is one final beat left to do, at least according to Arthur himself.
Oh, in all my years, I've never actually...
After getting all muddled up in the action of being Santa Claus, it's become a thing for the kids to be left in the dust in the middle of the night with their presents. But sitting back and watching their reactions to it all, well, that's the real magic behind the moment anyway.
Always so busy.
And so, for the first time, Santa soaks it in, sparing a moment of time to be with his family as he has done so scarcely in the past. It's both a moment of Christmas for the kids and for the family as a whole, as much as the other two might not be recognizing right now.
Mommy, Daddy, come on! Look, everything's downstairs. I think it's under this tree.
And so as the three clamber to peek through the doorway, the light comes on, warm and cozy for the wholesome Christmas vibes as we switch to their perspective, catching just a glimpse of the giddy child following their display. And tactically opening more again once the last pair of eyes gains a blind spot. They're professionals, they know how to do all this. Secretly, it's a massive security risk since even the president's kids gets invaded on at one point, which is a breach of national security there, but nevertheless.
What is it? I can see pink.
It's a bike, you dumbass child! And Grand Santa, of course, joins as well. Short and stout to the other three, but equally happy to be there. And experienced in seeing this moment as well. Jolly, for he knows what's coming.
Oh, Santa brought me the bike I wanted.
It's the time capsule of magic every child experiences where Santa is real and there for them. Although I found out one day when I saw that Santa had identical handwriting to my mum on another box. Oops. Anyway, the three are onlooking, each with different expressions: joy, contentment, and bewilderment. And as the camera moves closer to them, Santa comes to his final revelation.
Steve, you deserve to be Santa.
He's ready to pass on the mantle to clearly the one who helps make 99% of this Christmas. And though Treebeard here is quietly ecstatic about it all, there's a twist.
But Steve, I wonder if Gwen is right.
The only thing Gwen said was,
Santa brought me the bike I wanted.
and who was the one that painstakingly treaded every mile with said bike to get it over to the one missing child across the 2 billion this Christmas night? But Arthur himself. He's the Santa Gwen is speaking of.
Oh, watch out. Beep, beep. Careful, I'm gonna bump into you.
And as the two look onto Arthur, they can see just how happy this moment makes him. And though Steve may be the guy who does all of the work, and it's kind of tragic that this is being swept away from him again, it can't be denied that Arthur embodies the true heart of Santa and Christmas. He gets it in a way none of the others do, and let's face it, Steve's not great with kids like a Santa should be.
Sorry, Dad.
And so, in a moment of true maturity, Steve swallows his pride, agrees with his father, and passes on the mantle. It's alright, Steve. Your title still lasted longer than a UK Prime Minister.
I'll be the candle, eh?
Whoopee.
And finally, Santa is given the break he deserves and a well-wish from his father of old. And so the tradition of Santa Claus lives on for yet another generation, growing better and better with time.
You're better men than both of you.
Plus, it can always be a team effort.
Squirrel? Oh!
And just like that, with a quick cut, we escape out of there before anyone notices. Steve militantly perfect.
Drop complete! And we have a new Santa!
And everyone else coming out in fashion too. Santa struggling but helped by Steve, and Arthur capable in his gangly, clumsy, Tom Holland-esque ways. Not a criticism, this came out in 2011, so it's more like the start of this trend, if you don't count Linguini. And just like that, we come to the end of our movie.
Christmas accomplished.
With a spin on the mythos as unique as this one, it's so satisfying to see all the moving parts of this pretty chaotic movie all coming together under a neat little bow that surprisingly strikes for quite an emotional hit alongside the core Christmas memory at the end of a long night. Arthur Christmas is just so good. I'm not surprised reviews were raving about it, but though there are all sorts of iconic scenes and smart reinterpretations, this scene is the embodiment of the entire premise of the Santa mantle, and it succeeds in the fullest to showcasing the real heart behind Christmas, as both an opportunity for gifting presents and as a moment built for families. Because yes, this was the scene that changed Arthur Christmas. For now, my name's been Dazz, you didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit.